was pure and did not require refining or smelting. Ninurta reported that gold was everywhere. Enki and Enlil hurriedly traveled to the distant land of mountains and marveled at the discovery. Pure gold that needed has been corrected by Nibiru. The invisible hand of the creator of all allowed life on Nibiru. But the leaders wondered, who could now collect the gold? And how would they be sent to Nibiru? Ninurta had an answer for the first question. On his journey to the high mountain lands across the oceans, he found not only gold, but survivors as well. He revealed to the other Anunnaki that there were 4 surviving brother and sister pairs who had saved themselves on rafts. They were descendants of Ka-in and knew how to manipulate metals. The survivors were on an island, the mountain's peak transformed into an island. They called Ninurta the Great Protector and remembered him as a guardian of their ancestors. Upon hearing this news, even Enlil, who had planned the end of all earthlings, was not angered. They all said to themselves and others, "It is the will of the creator of all." The Anunnaki then created a new landing place for the celestial ships to enable direct travel between the new gold extraction site and Nibiru. They sought a dry, hardened plain and found it near the landing place on a desolate peninsula. The site was surrounded by white mountains. To facilitate flight navigation between Earth and Nibiru, Enlil suggested to Enki that they could reproduce the celestial pathways on Earth. They decided to reflect the celestial paths of Anu and Enlil on our planet. Then Enlil measured the distances of the heavens and marked a grand design on a tablet for everyone on Earth to see. It was decided that the landing place in the Cedar Mountains would be part of the facilities. Next, Enlil measured the distance between the landing place and the place of the ships, designating a new location for a new mission control center at the center Moriah. In that position, he selected a suitable hill and named it Mount of Way Showing. Enlil ordered the construction of a stone platform, similar but smaller than the one at the landing place. In the center, a large stone was carved inside and out to house a new link between heaven and earth, a new navel of the earth, a new earth center, to establish the function of Nibru Key before the flood. The landing shortcut was anchored in the north at the twin peaks of Arata. To mark the landing corridor, Enlil needed 2 more sets of twin peaks to define the corridor's boundaries and ensure ascent and descent. In the southern part of the desolate peninsula, a mountainous area, Enlil chose adjacent twin peaks, where he anchored the southern boundary. However, where the second set of twin peaks mountains, only a plain above the valley flooded by waters rose from the ground. Ningish Zida suggested to the other Anunnaki, artificial peaks can be erected on it. So on a tablet, he drew the image of smooth peaks rising to the sky. If this can be done, let it be, Enlil approved. Let them also serve as beacons. Above the plain, over the river valley, Ningish Zida built a model. He perfected the ascending angles and the 4 smooth sides. Next to it, he placed a larger peak, its sides oriented to the 4 corners of the earth. The Anunnaki cut and erected stones with their powerful tools. Beside the first peak, in a precise location, they raised its twin peak. They carefully designed galleries and chambers for pulsating crystals. When this enormous peak rose to the heavens, the leaders were invited to place the capstone on it. Gibbel prepared a mixture of electrum from which the apex stone was made. The sunlight reflected to the horizon, and it was like a pillar of fire at night. It focused a beam to the heavens, harnessing the power of all the crystals. When the work proposed by Ningish Zida was completed, the Anunnaki entered the great twin peaks and marveled at what they saw. They gave it a name and called it Ekur, house which like a mountain is. It was a great beacon for the heavens. They told themselves that the Anunnaki who survived the great flood would always triumph, and so they proclaimed it. Now, the new place of the celestial ships could receive gold from lands beyond the seas, and from there, the ships could depart for Nibiru, carrying survival and leading to salvation. From the east, where the sun rises on the appointed day, they shall ascend. To the southwest, where the sun sets on the appointed day, they shall descend. Then Enlil, with his own hands, activated the crystals of Nibiru. From this, strange lights began to flicker inside, and a captivating hum broke the silence that had been on Earth. Outside, the apex stone suddenly shone, and it became brighter than the sun itself. The crowd of Anunnaki gathered and let out a great and powerful cry of joy. Ninhursag, moved by the occasion, recited and sang a poem.
House that is like a mountain, house that faces the sky. It is equipped for heaven earth. It is the work of the Anunnaki. Bright and dark ships, the Anunnaki constructed it. House whose interior glows with a reddish skylight. House whose interior shines with the reddish light of the sky, emits a pulsing ray that reaches far and high. Noble mountain among mountains, created great and noble, it is beyond the understanding of earth dwellers. House of equipment, noble house of eternity, its foundation stones touch the waters, its great circumference is set in the clay. House whose parts are skillfully interwoven, so that the great ones who circle in the heavens may. House that is a landmark for spacecraft, with unfathomable innards. Ekul is blessed by Anu himself.
At the end of Ninhursag's exaltation song, the Anunnaki continued celebrating their remarkable work. Enki suggested to Enlil, we need to think of an answer to a puzzling question. When in future days, someone asks, when and by whom was this wonder created? Let's build a monument beside the twin mountains to announce the age of the lion. May the face bear the image of Ningish-Zida, the designer of the mountains, and may it gaze precisely at the place of the celestial ships, so that it reveals to future generations when, by whom, and for what purpose it was created. Enlil agreed with Enki's words and said, "You must once again be the commander of the place of the celestial ships. Let the lion look precisely to the east with the image of Ningish-Zida." Thus, the work began to carve and shape the lion that celebrated the image of Ningish-Zida. It was then that Marduk sought Enki, his father, and spoke bitter and angry words of discontent. "You promised me dominion over the entire earth, but now command and glory are granted to others. I am left without lands or tasks. Artificial mountains rise over my former domains. In the image of the lion should be my image, not that of Ningish-Zida." Marduk's words angered Ningish-Zida, as well as the other sons. Ninurta and the rest of Enlil's sons also raised their voices, demanding domains in their names. All demanded lands for themselves and earthlings who could worship them. Ninhursag spoke up before the others, saying, "Let the celebration not become a dispute. The earth is still desolate. Among the earthlings there are only survivors, and we are few Anunnaki. Let us pay heed to Marduk's words. Ningish-Zida has not been deprived of his honor in Marduk's words." Ninhursag's voice became a peacemaker between the two clans. Enlil said, "For peace to prevail, we must divide the habitable lands among us." And so they agreed to make the peninsula an undisputed separator. They named it the Land of Missiles and called it Tilmun, a land beyond the reach of earthlings. They entrusted its care to Ninmah, the peacemaker. To the east of the peninsula, in the habitable lands, they entrusted them to the care of Enlil and his sons, and for two of Ziusudra's sons, Shem and Japheth, to live there. The dark-hued landmass that included Abzu was granted to Enki and his clan for dominion. To inhabit it, they chose the people of Ziusudra's middle son, Ham. To appease his son, Enki suggested making Marduk their lord, ruler of their lands. And in this regard, Enlil said, "Let it be as you wish." In Tilmun, without its mountainous south, Ninurta built a dwelling for his mother, Ninhursag. It was located in a valley near a spring with palm trees. On the mountain peak, Ninurta planted a fragrant garden, and when everything was finished, they sent a signal to all the outposts on Earth. From the mountainous lands beyond the ocean, the small ships brought the gold nuggets. From the place of the celestial ships, the gold was taken to Nibiru.